And a good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the McLean Broadcast Network's extra long pregame show. I'm Matthew's Word with you for this pregame show. I will not be having the call of tonight's game. We will be handing those duties off to Raza and Olivia, and they will be on at 6:40 to give you the shorter pregame show as usual, but this is a little bit of an extra long pregame show. Thank you for tuning in tonight. It is homecoming night. The McLean had their annual homecoming pep rally in the gym today. A lot of great things going on. Thanks to everybody who put that on. Definitely some entertaining and funny stuff here. Now it's homecoming game tonight. McLean Highlands versus Washington Lee Generals, but we are not going to get to that game quite yet. We're going to get that to you in about 15 minutes. We're going to spend the first half of our show going over a sport that's starting the winter season a little extra early than all the others. As you know, it's getting towards late October, Halloween coming up as we start the holiday season. But that sport is ice hockey, and we are pleased to announce that we are hoping we have a 99% chance of broadcasting some of those games here. The McLean ice hockey team, great group of guys, and we're going to start by previewing them. Last year they went 6-2-2 with 6 wins, 2 losses, and 2 ties. McLean, they had a good season. They won their division. They're defending Adams Division champions, so a lot on the line. And within a tough division with last year's runner-up to Stonebridge, the Bishop O'Connell Knights, they will be looking to try to get back to the championship game. However, they've lost critical seniors. And McLean, they have 8 seniors. And we're gonna talk about some key impact players. Some of them are seniors, some of them are not. And we're going to start with a sophomore this year, Philip Waugh, just an amazing hockey player. He finished the 10-game season of the 2014-2015 campaign with 16 goals and 3 assists. He was 1 point behind last year's junior player, now senior Jordan Bloom, who had 13 goals and 7 assists. So he was so close to getting leading the team, and that's what helped them. These 2 players really did shine, and they were able to allow the McLean Highlanders to have a successful season. Now, let's go over a couple of some big players for this team. Besides them, Chris Cardwell, the captain this year, also the captain last year of this McLean Highlanders team. He is a senior, along with Jordan Bloom. Very good captain, and he's going to have to lead this team through this very hard division title. As we mentioned, they are runners-up in the Adams division, which has gotten a little bit harder with a lot of better teams in. As we mentioned, Bishop O'Connell, last year's runner-up in the NBSHL championship. That's to lead that. The McLean Highlanders ice hockey team is the Northern Virginia Scholastic Hockey League, and Bishop O'Connell made it all the way to finals. McLean out in the second round. The formatting for the league goes for playoffs: 12 teams in. The 4 division winners get a bye, so they were out. So McLean lost to a very good broad run team in the second round. So for McLean, they want to build on it. They want to make it hopefully all the way to Keller Capitals Ice Plus, where in Boston, where they host where the championship game takes place. Let's go over. So besides Bishop O'Connell, McLean, Langley, a very tough team. McLean got run out of their own building last year. They lost the game, giving up 8 goals, and they had a chance to make it close at the end of the second, but then the third period, Langley tore away, and it was goal after goal after goal. Not the way that they wanted to be successful, and that's definitely something that McLean's gonna want to counter now. Besides Langley, O'Connell, Langley, O'Connell, McLean also in the Adams division for this year. There's Yorktown, another capable team. McLean played them on a preseason game, and they got a 5-1 victory. But this team, they do not quit, and that's important in any sport. If you're facing on a team that doesn't give in, you have to play 45 minutes of hockey. That is the periods. There are 3 periods that are 15 minutes each. That's the only difference, 5 minutes less than an NHL season period, excuse me. Now, also so the Adams division includes, obviously, we said Langley, McLean, Yorktown, Bishop, O'Connell, and then South Lake's the one team that last year went, believe had 1 tie, but they had issues. McLean easily defeating them last year with a mercy rule. No, they did not mercy rule them, excuse me. They won 8-0 with a convincing victory. One of those teams that it's not looking like they could do too much in a tough division. And even though O'Connell lost seniors, they're fully capable of being good this year, and that's why McLean's in a tougher division. John Sherlock, the coach of the McLean Highlanders varsity team, alluding to that. But the good news for McLean is they're a bit more staffed. They have 8 seniors, a very capable sophomore this year in Philip Waugh, and that's someone that you're going to have to look out for McLean. It's their time to win. Their time to win. If we look in other divisions this year, a team that is very good, the Stonebridge Bulldogs, they are in the Smith division. They try to divide it up by location, but each one are named after capable, very famous hockey players, and it makes sense for that since this is a hockey league. Now, a little bit about the NBSHL. They are a private league. They were formed in 2001. They are not associated with Eddy County or the Virginia High School Athletics. But they have schools that represent the players. They go to the schools, private and public, and they represent high schools. Stonebridge has won 6 out of the 12 years titles that have been played for. Although I do believe there's been more years, judging by 2001 versus 2014, 2015, but regardless, they've won tons of championships. They're a dominating team, and anyone who wants to win a championship, they gotta go through them. Now another capable team is Stonebridge's rival, Broad Run, finishing 9-1 last year. Stonebridge finished 10-0 in the season with 10 wins, no losses. Broad Run finished with 9 wins and 1 loss. That loss was to Stonebridge, and that just shows you how good a team Stonebridge is. And they creamed, and I mean creamed. I believe mercy ruled Broad Run, and last year in the second round, McLean faced Broad Run and lost So you can see the difference. That was really a 5-2 game, and then Stonebridge makes a very good broad run team look quite silly. So for McLean, there's tons of teams of all levels in here. There's a JV level as well as a middle school level, but for McLean, they're just focused on varsity. They do have a JV team this year forming as the team continues to grow. And McLean, honestly, if they want to get a push for a championship, this is their time. And they have to win now. And the urgency you feel because you're losing 8 seniors, that's not going to help because that forces a lot of players with less talent to step up. And this is really McLean's last opportunity to be excellent, and they feel like they have a lot of depth. They have a lot of capable players. Forgot to mention one, David Todd. Todd right now, they're debating between sending him down to a newly formed JV team or keeping him on the varsity team. He's a hard-nosed player. You wouldn't think they has a lot of talent, but he's surprisingly very good for this team. He hasn't scored a lot of goals, but what he does well is he's able to keep it. He's just balanced for pucks. He gets the puck, he takes it away. He's hard to play against, and that's what you need on a third line or a utility player to give somebody a breather. You need someone who can stand up for his own. And that's why he can be so dangerous. And, you need guys like him who are going to have to step up to a varsity role next year. And that's going to be definitely important for this team. You're going to need that for the McLean Highlanders. And hopefully they can do well this year. We will have those their games now. We encourage you to come out to the games. To be completely honest, I've been playing on their varsity team for 2 years. I will be playing on their JV team this year. They do not get as many fans as they would hope, and it's frustrating, especially when you have O'Connell or Langley bring out fans to the game. So we encourage those of you listening, if you have students or alumni, tell them, go to the MVSHL website, look at the schedule. McLean plays all their home games at Reston, SkateQuest, 15 minutes away from McLean High School, out the toll road. It's not as far as you think. Just give yourself a little bit more time when there's rush hour, but besides that, it's very simple. Get out there. It's right off the toll road. Get off at nearly white at the exit that's on Wiley Reston, Wiley the street, and it's basically right there. You take a right, and then you go down to another main intersection. You take another right, and you'll see the sign for it, and it will be the first left-hand turn. And it's very simple to get to, and we hope that McLean Varsity can get some fans. That would be very much appreciated. Now let's go through the schedule for the game for McLean Ice Hockey here this year. And their season, they're going to start off with a pretty big test as they take on the defending, no matter how many seniors that O'Connell lost, you're going to have to face them, and they're going to be good. And that's where they and that's the first game of the season for McLean. So right away, in an interdivision game right off the bat. That will be a 4 o'clock puck drop at the Kettler Capitals Iceplex on November 6th, the same day as the Langley game. So you can do doubleheader McLean Sports. If you can't make it to either, you can tune into that 4 o'clock game from wherever you are. They'll be done within an hour and 15 minutes. We will hope to have the call right for for you, for all of you listening, and then at 6:40, you can tune into the Langley game. But we'll have more, the Langley football game, but we'll have more about that later, a couple weeks. And just a great way to get McLean, try and get pumped to McLean games. I don't know what's better. The second game, the Nets, for them, McLean, they're on the road. They go to Haymarket Iceplex, which, to be honest, I have no idea where that is. And they're taking on Kettle Run, and that's a 10:30 game, so probably not the best game to go to, but we will let you know which games we will have the call to. Nets, they come home to on Friday, November 20th at 7:55 to take on South Lakes. That's at Reston. South Lakes, another team inside of their division and a team that they should beat. Now, we do not have time to get through the rest of the schedule, but there's the first three games we're going to transition to tonight's game. Obviously, we'll have more commentary with Raza and Olivia, who will have the call. You can tune in at 6:40 for that, but stay right here, folks. We have the pregame show, and we will now transition. But if you want to look up the rest of the schedule, go to the NVSHL website, type it in, Google NVSHL, and go under schedules and look at McLean on the varsity side, and you will definitely see their schedule, and we'll be hopefully bring you the calls of those games in just another 2 weeks from now on a Friday, 4 o'clock puck drop versus Bishop O'Connell at the Kettler Capitals Iceplex. So right after school finishes, about an hour, and we can't wait for that. Now, transitioning into tonight's games, the homecoming game versus Washington Lee, the Highlanders 0-7 versus a 2-3 Washington Lee team that is struggling, and they want to get the win, but McLean, they also want to get the win. And last week, they proved that they were capable of playing very good football against Yorktown. We will discuss what they need to do tonight to win it, but ultimately, a 1-point difference, 21-20 loss to Yorktown Patriots came by way of a missed field goal from Matthew Livingston, an excellent kicker and punter. He had a kick and a punt inside of the 10-yard line. Very excellent player, and tonight he's definitely hoping to make up for that one. A lot of great McLean players, and so we're gonna so some players in that game plus some players to watch in this game. It's been kind of the same throughout the season. Sophomore quarterback Carter Govan. He's getting excellent experience, and with Fleisch, the senior graduating, he's one right now in line to take on this team. So even though they're struggling and, he's not the most experienced quarterback out there, this is great experience for him because now McLean can develop their talent, and he has 2 years to lead this team. And if you want to put a little bit of silver lining on the season that's otherwise been a bit disappointing, that's where you gotta be at. And for McLean, they're very hopeful. Now, Patrick Dolan, he's a wide receiver by trade. He ran the ball, had a unfortunate fumble last week, but an amazing one-handed catch where he was walking backwards in the back left corner of the end zone when the Highlanders were going from right to left. And what an amazing catch. He was able to reach out, make the one-handed grab, get 1 foot in bounce, and very excellent player. Now the Highlanders, they're going to be looking to obviously overcome that loss, but another player to look at, David Kagan and Wesley Romary. Two amazing running backs. They got a lot of the snaps. McLean was able to dominate the ground game, and they're just amazing players. And if you look at where McLean was at week 1, where they are now, it's kind of night and day. They went on a 3-game road trip, and they came back very solid last week. And I'm expecting McLean to be competitive. I'm expecting a very close game, a hard-fought scrap game, but McLean, they can come up on top. They can. Obviously, now here's my keys to the game. I already mentioned one: run the ball. You have to win the ground game. McLean did that last week, and it paid dividends. They were so close to a win and just couldn't finish it at the end, and everybody was thinking win. Although they did not get the win, it's okay. They play very well, and I'm sure that makes for a very happy coach, Coach Blair, the head coach, and he's really made this team a lot better than where they were week 1 against Stonebridge. Second key to game, avoid turnovers and costly penalties, and this has been something that McLean, they've gotten a little bit better at, but there were some penalties as well as turnovers last week that if they didn't turn the ball over after getting an interception on a muffled snap, they could have very easily scored some more points and been able to, really take control of that game. But ultimately, Yorktown, they were able to get the ball back a couple times and they ended up winning by 1. Final thought, you have to get the defense off the field, and they did a lot better job of that last week. They were able to accomplish that. They need to accomplish it again. They need to accomplish that again this week. For me, that is something that's huge. You need to get the defense off the field on 4th downs, and 3rd downs, no matter what, to be able to allow your offense. Since a lot of the guys play both offense and defense, you do not want your defensive line getting worn down. That's very important for McLean. They cannot allow that. They need to get the defense off the field so that their offense can really shine. Now, that does it for us here. We're gonna be back at 6:40 for the game. Remember to follow us on Twitter at MHS Broadcast Net. Raza and Olivia will have the call for this game. That does it for me. We will hopefully see you right back here at 6:40. Remember, subscribe, follow us on Twitter. We're really excited, and we'll get some hockey in there. We have one more game, maybe 2 against Fairfax. We will see. We're trying to get the capabilities to take the show on the road, but for now, it's just home games. But that should change, and we'll have basketball season coming up. So a lot of exciting things. The season isn't over for us. It continues throughout the winter into the spring. So for that, thanks for tuning in to this extra long pregame show. We'll be back at 6:40 with Raza and Olivia. They will have the call of this game. They will have their pregame show, and then we will get to some Highlander football here in this homecoming evening. So for Matthew's Word, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We hope to see you right back here, of course, in just about 20 minutes, and for all the remaining games of this season. You've been listening to Esper Long pregame show on the Highlanders Broadcast Network. Remember, it is your official home and your only home for McLean High School sports.